Next question comes from Keith, who says, with the new $75,000 lounge requirement for guest lounge access on that American Express unleashed upon the industry, and the other banks are now following suit. One other bank, that is Capital One, because madness. Are any of these lounge cards worth the opportunity cost of spending $75,000 on them versus other available non-lounge cards? Craig, I'll throw back to you on this one.
I'm going to give you two very different answers. For the first one, I'm going to say it depends, right? If you have one card and your only card, I think more people put 75,000 or close to $75,000 on a platinum than you would like to think. And those are mostly people that aren't credit card people and are between the ages of 40 and probably 80-ish. I know that's a large demographic. They just say, I've got my card and that's what I use, and I use it for everything. It's a reality that we don't really want to talk about, but it's a reality. And if we're being honest, I can guarantee you, most of those people do not care. I've been to a number of Centurion lounges where people say, oh, it's $50 per guest, and they bring in six guests, and they do not care. I think we put a lot of energy into kind of complaining about benefits or guidelines that in the grand scheme don't particularly matter. Now, if you have a family of four and you travel with that family 5 times a year through airports, I can see why you're upset about the Venture X changes. Truly and genuinely, I can. But let's just be honest. How many people are actually traveling with more than two other companions? Or if you have a family of four, more than three other people? Is it really? And how often are you traveling with those kids or with those, excuse me, with those other individuals? I don't know if it necessarily necessitates us to be upset about this. Am I mad that they took away two extra guests that you could get on the Platinum? A little bit, but also for the last 4 years, have frequented the Philly Centurion Lounge and I've wanted more space. And let me assure you, not enough people have been trimmed out. I want more space. It's really nice that you can get two people into the Sapphire lounges. I think that's great, but also I don't see that lasting too much longer. Even with this update at 795, I would be absolutely floored if within the next 2 years we don't see Chase do the exact same thing and say, "Hey, you want those two guests, 75,000." So I just say, don't worry about it. Use that spend for other things. Use it for subs if that's your thing. If not, use it for a Hilton free night certificate or an Alaska companion pass or any other number of perks that you can get to unlock your card that will actually give you a more sizable amount of value. Because here's the thing, if you're not taking that spend or if you're not taking trips more than 3, 4, 5 times a year with three or plus companions, is there really an opportunity cost or is this just the cost of traveling?
That's fair. RJ, your thoughts there?
So I have a different angle I'm coming at this one from. I don't think that people are thinking about the 75,000 number correctly. And what I mean by that is I don't think it's for the bank saying you should spend 75,000 on this card. I think maybe a little bit, but not really. This is for the people that spend 100,000 on their platinum card or on a different card, and here's a value for you. Because if you spend 50, they're not paying it out. If you spend 74,000, they're not paying it out, right? This is something that they know how many people hit and can just say, here's a thing. If you hit it, congratulations. I don't think most of the marketing is, oh my God, you should hit 75,000 so you can get IHG Platinum on the CSR or you can get IHG Dime. There's something IHG. Anyway, or on the Platinum guest access, right? That's not really what it's for. It's for the people who spend it or the people who get very close to spending it. If you spent 72,000 last year on your platinum, like $3,000 is nothing, right? In the grand scheme of things, probably for you. So it's, hey, spend a little bit more with us and you'll get this perk. Because you probably are putting some of that through airlines. So, like, you're probably in airlines sometimes. So just spend a little more and you'll get this cool benefit. It's not for the people spending $40,000 or $50,000. That's not what this is for. And I think we get our collective panties in a bunch because we're like, oh, the banks are trying to manipulate us. If you spent $23,000 on all of your credit cards next year, this is not for you, bro. If you don't care about lounge access, this also is not for you, bro. We're so used to centering ourselves in our own lives that we're looking at credit card marketing, upset that the marketing isn't specifically for us. I have never once worried about the $75,000 number on my platinum for guest access. I don't care. It might as well be $1 million. I'm not going to hit it and I don't care. So I don't think about it. But people acting, I can hit it. So are they trying to force me? If you're not even close to it, but you have that spend, it's also not for you, bro. Stop acting like every bit of marketing is for you. Look at the marketing for what it is. A, it's marketing, and B, look at the actual thing. Use your critical thinking skills. And this is not to Keith, this is to the community at large. Look at your critical thinking skills and say, is this benefit something I will use? Yes. And then the marketing, cool, let me go look at it because it actually might tell me something. Is it something I'll use? No. It doesn't matter what the marketing is. Like, part of being in the credit card community is taking a look at the marketing and deconstructing it. And we do not do that enough because bright, shiny. Yes, marketing works on every single person on this panel, listening to this podcast, and related to us. It does. If it didn't, it wouldn't be the billion-dollar industry it is. It works. Absolutely. But here's the thing. Part of being in the community is deconstructing some of that. In groups, in conversations, yourself with your spreadsheet, like, is part of that. But we see 75,000 and we act like it's some holy grail number of like, how could they possibly do this to us? They're taking points out of our pocket by putting this number here. It's not for you, bro. That's my ultimate point. It's not for you, bro. I cede my floor.
I'm hearing that it's not for you.
Bro. The bro is very important.
Yes. So here's the thing. American Express and Capital One both gave you opt-outs to the 75,000 portion. Authorized user cards. Now, Capital One is doing a stupid usury fee because you can still get an authorized user card for no annual fee, but it'll cost you $125 to put that authorized user into lounges. Fine. Whatever. Pay the $125. Per authorized user, that is $500. Yes, it's $500 more dollars going to Capital One, and they're not giving you God, I don't even know what sort of perk or credit Capital One could come up with beyond the $300 travel coupon. They're not giving you a free buffet at
Golden Corral.
Oh God, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I'll go with a buffet on the on the Vegas Strip. They're not giving you a free buffet on the Vegas Strip for your extra $500. Yes, I get that, but you know what? You and your 4 authorized users still get access to the lounges. Now they're cutting off the extra guests, whatever. But for $500 more dollars, you get the same thing. You're not going to get as many people in the lounge because they're trying to curtail the number of people in their lounges because they forgot to build lounges when they did this, when they added this perk to the cards. That's not your fault, but $500 extra commitment. The card costs less than $400. And if you do the net game that folks will try to convince themselves with because of Capital One's marketing, the card pays you back $5. $500 on top. You're only really out $495. It's crap math. There's that little bit of marketing you could convince yourself with. Going to American Express, $195. Like, that is the fee to add an authorized user and continue with your lounge access for your authorized user. Now, I get that that is a pain in the ass for guests. Yes, it's absolutely a pain in the ass for guests. You're going to have to pay for guests. You know what travel costs? This weird thing called money. And we like to convince ourselves that we're traveling for free with our points and miles, but like, we spent thousands of dollars to subsidize the points that we accrued, to build up the point numbers that we accrued for that free travel. That free travel was, yes, less than you actually like would have had to pay for. Absolutely. First class La Premiere or La Premiere, the apartments, what is it? A&A, the room, Q suites. These are very expensive cash tickets. I get that. And they're far cheaper using points. Again, I get that. Dig into the savings from La Premiere or A&A, the room, or Q suites, or the apartments from Etihad. Is it Etihad that does the apartments or Emirates? It doesn't matter. Dig into the savings from that multiple thousands of dollars you're saving and pony up for a guest pass at the Centurion Lounge. Pony up for a guest pass at the Capital One lounges that, are too few built because Capital One forgot to build lounges while they were hawking this card at everyone. Don't worry about the $75,000 requirement. Like, they've given you options to sidestep them. It is upon you to decide whether those options are worthwhile for an additional usury fee with Capital One or an extra fee with American Express. And if you're going to convince yourself that you don't want to pay the annual fee, cool. Your partner, your friend who you're giving the authorized user card to, whoever you're giving that authorized user card to has an option to pay $395 for their own Capital One Venture X and get all of the perks that you get, or $695 for the American Express Platinum card, to which they have pretty easy standards in terms of acceptance for the card. I'm not going to say that they're like Barclays and just giving them out like candy. They're not far off. As long as your credit's decent and you show an ability to pay, like Amex will give you a platinum card. They will give most people a platinum card. They will give a lot of people who shouldn't have a platinum card. They're really easy to get. So
Stop telling people that so they won't apply, Matt. God.
no, I don't care about your lounges
Wow, that hurts.
until I get one. And then I will care about the lounge.
The day you get a platinum card, I will just be celebrating the entire show.
All right. I don't have any applications open right. Anyway, like sidestep, like reject that reality, substitute your own. Like they give you this option to do the 75K spend. They want you to do the 75K spend because they want the swipe fees on the 75K spend. If you don't want to give them the swipe fees, pay Capital One $500 for 4 authorized user cards with access to the lounge. Pay American Express $195 a pop for the authorized user card. Or if you don't want to have that extra money come out of your pocket, take it out of your friend's pocket, telling them to get a $395 card or $695 card, asterisk, for now. Reject the 75K portion of things. If you routinely put $80,000, $90,000 through your platinum card, great. You don't have to do anything different. If you have a Centurion card, great. You don't have to do anything different. If you're putting 75, 80K through your Venture X or your Venture X business card, great. You don't have to do anything different. If you're not at that level, as RJ said, like it's not for you. Sidestep the adventure. Reject that reality. Put your 75K elsewhere. You want to go spend your way toward globalist? 75K is a easy number to help you spend toward globalist, especially if you're using it on the Hyatt business card. If you want to, I don't know, spend 75K across all your cards on living, cool. Don't accept the lounge requirement spend as like a way to get free whatever, because free guest access cost you $75,000, where you could have spent $500 with Capital One or $195 a pop with American Express. I cannot expand upon that further because it's not free lounge access. It's not compliment. Yes, they're going to call it complimentary guest access. You know what it is? The most expensive guest access in the world. Call it what it is. $75,000 usury fee to not get another card.
If that's the only thing you're doing, though. If you're going to spend that anyway, I would reject that. But if you're doing it for lounge access, I would agree with you.
Yes, again, if you're the person who's routinely putting $80,000 through their card, sweet. But most of us in this community, and especially on the manufactured spend side or the churning side or dark arts side of things, they're not doing that. And there are listeners in those portions of the community. We appreciate all the views, we appreciate the comments, we appreciate the interaction. But if you're not in that demographic that's routinely putting 75,000 or 80,000 through the card, don't go out of your way to do this because you don't want to pay $50 at the gate, because you're spending $75,000 on a card that you shouldn't be spending $75,000 on. If you're someone who routinely puts 75K, 80K, 100K, $1 million through your platinum card, are you even thinking about the lounge access? Because I'm sure part of that 75K, 80K, whatever, was just buying passes anyway.
Matt, I know some people who are very wealthy, and yes, they would think about that. I promise you they would. Some of the cheapest people I know are millionaires.
Yes, I understand that. And yes, they are also, the frugal bunch. And yes, this would be enticing to them. That's 6 people after Warren Buffett.
I don't think you understand the rich people that come upstate in the summer that I have to deal with for several months a year.
who should be taxed at 80% of their wealth.
Yes, but that's not the question in front of us.
Tax them anyway. All right, Keith. Sorry, I've gone full radical on you on this one. I almost apologize. Actually, I don't. Sorry. Anyway, we're going to move on